Craig Murray is the former British ambassador to Uzbekistan. He told us that Uzbek citizens captured in Afghanistan were flown back to Tashkent on the American plane.
I know of 2 instances for certain of prisoners who were brought back in a small jet. And I believe it was happening on a reasonably regular basis.
By whom?
Premier Executive Airline.
He says in Uzbekistan, many prisoners are subject to torture techniques straight out of the Middle Ages.
Techniques of drowning and suffocation. Rape was used quite commonly, and also insertion of limbs in boiling liquid.
Boiling people?
Yeah, it's quite common.
Ambassador Murray complained to his superiors that British intelligence was using information gleaned by torture. He was recalled by London last year and quit the Foreign Office.
Any reason to believe that the CIA knows that people are being tortured in these jails?
The CIA definitely knows. I asked my deputy to go and speak to the CIA, and she came back and reported to me that she'd met the CIA head of station, who told her that, yes, this material probably was obtained under torture, but the CIA didn't see that as a problem.
The CIA disputes that. The agency told us that the meeting Murray describes never happened. The CIA also said it does not knowingly receive intelligence obtained by torture. Mike Scheuer says in his experience, the U.S. asks receiving countries to promise that suspects will be treated according to the laws of that country.
I personally think that any information gotten through extreme methods of torture would probably be pretty useless, because it would be someone telling you what you wanted to hear. The information that we have received as a result of these programs has been very useful to the United States.
And if some of that useful information is gleaned by torture, that's okay?
It's okay with me. I'm responsible for protecting Americans.
Earlier this month, Khalid Al Masri filed suit against the CIA's former director, George Tenet, and 3 of its front airline companies. He alleges he was kidnapped, beaten, drugged, held incommunicado, and humiliated. He appeared at a news conference via satellite because the U.S. wouldn't let him in the country. In Germany, the German chancellor says the U.S. has admitted privately that Al Masri was abducted in error, but Dr. Rice wouldn't talk about it. An intelligence official told us the agency is investigating a handful of cases, fewer than 10, in which other suspects may have been rendered by mistake.
How do you know if you're picking up the right people?
You do the best you can. It's not a science. It's gathering as much information as you can, deciding on the quality of it, and then determining the risk the person poses. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake.
After his 5 months in captivity, Khalid Al Masri finally made his way back home, only to find that his wife and children had moved to Lebanon to be with her parents. All they knew was that he had disappeared.
That's a hell of a story. Did she believe you?
She did. I never lied to her, and my appearance showed that I had been in prison.
You have a 7-year-old son. How did you explain this to him?
I explained to him what happened to me, and he understood.
And when he asked you who did this to you, what did you say?
I said it was the Americans.